waiting for you. I'm Taren S, a High Priestess in a Crossroads Witchcraft Tradition, and I've been brewing magic for a very long time. Come on in, let's brew some together. Hello, hello, witches! I think y'all see behind me, I am not at the cottage. I'm here at Bonaventure Cemetery. I'm getting ready to do a walkthrough. I'm just gonna go say hey to spirit realm folk. I don't know how much of a video I can make out of all of that. I promise to take some great pictures, because as you can see behind me, witches, this is one of the most beautiful cemeteries here that we have in the South. It has got crypts. It has been here for just over 300 years. So we have got spirit folk all up in this 100 acres. I wish I could explain and let y'all witches feel the peace, the serenity, just feeling like I'm not alone as I'm walking here in this beautiful cemetery. I strongly recommend, if you ever get the opportunity to come out to Bonaventure, this is a palmetto palm, to really come out here and just come for a stroll. Used to, when the cemetery was first put together, it was actually set up as more of a park-like venue, so that way, you know, folks could come out here and have picnic with grandma, so to speak, you know. And it was set up where we commune with the dead, and that's something here in our modern society that we have really lost, that keeping our dead close to us. Oh, let's see what's down and around this curve. It's just like every turn I take is like a more beautiful spirit to me. And of course, we're under those beautiful live oaks with the Spanish moss on it that you can see here. Is this just not beautiful? And this is where I walk through and I'll see, you know, if I get a nod from any of the spirit realm folk. And if I do, I stop and take a moment. As we talk a lot about how we develop relationships with different spirit realm folk that we may not have an ancestral relationship to, but we still may have a cultural relationship, or we even may have that astral spiritual relationship with these spirit folks. All right, just because they weren't in your life in physical space doesn't mean they weren't in your life before, or it doesn't mean that they're not in your life in those spiritual astral realms. And when I'm walking around the graveyard, the cemetery, a lot of times folks ask, how do you know? And really, it's all about feeling, okay? And this wonderful crypt right behind me, when I was walking by it, I had like that stop and wait a second feeling. And so it's about taking that deep breath, honoring that feeling, and leaving the offering. All right, all I'm gonna do is just say thank you for nodding my way. I've got a little token I'm gonna go put up there and leave. All right, and this is where those moments, if you're inclined, where you feel like you have permission to take a little dirt, you may or may not. Today I had no intentions of taking dirt, and I really don't feel like this is the right place for me to do that. All right, I just feel like I got a nod from spirit realm folk, and I'm gonna give a nod back. One of the little known facts about Bonaventure Cemetery is that some of these sites actually have underground crypts, in which at one point, I mean, it was like a complete church with a couple of pews beneath it. And a lot of times you can see the indentation in the ground, and then they later on went back and put another crypt on top. We believe this to be one. We're not 100% sure. There are moments as I'm walking through here and I see some of these plots. I feel like I'm very easily drawn into them, especially this particular one. For whatever reason, it's just compelling me. But at the same time, we still need to walk softly. We need to walk respectfully through these areas. Witches, I just want you to see one of the prettiest living oak trees here in the cemetery. You just want to run up to it, hug on it, stand in front of it, ground into its energies. And it just feels so right as we're walking through this lane here. I get the sense of all is contented, all is well. This is the type of atmosphere, if I'm looking for spiritual wisdom or if I'm looking for protection, this is the energy I would potentially lean into. These folks have a sense of satisfaction to them, and so they're going to lean in wisdom, protection, blessings. This is not the place or the area, the energy's not right for anything to be working after midnight. You know what I'm saying, witches? As you all know, Andrea's with me, and she has been going through and steadily cleaning out several of the different plots. When you feel compelled, leave it nicer than what you found it. Let spirit realm folk know that you appreciate them. Straighten up a little bit around it for them. It don't take you but a minute, and I guarantee they appreciate it. So now there's a way to get a blessing from spirit realm folk. Go clean up around their area. And this is the time you leave a little token. Say a couple of soft words of remembrance. I think this is one of the prettiest statues that they have here at Bonaventure. This beautiful angel. I'm not going to show any more because I really don't want to show names and things like that. This isn't about look at the gravestone. We're talking more about spiritual realm folk. So I think you guys have noticed that I've worked really hard not to focus on any actual grave site per se. You may see a name or two. Say hey, Andrea.
Hey y'all.
But this is about really walking through an area with spirit realm folk. This is just a beautiful place. It has 300 years, the history here. We've got Revolutionary soldiers, we have Civil War soldiers, every war our country has fought in. Like I was saying, we got lots of military soldiers, and you'll find places that you'll walk through where you really feel that. All right, and like I was saying earlier, for me in this particular cemetery, I feel like they're at peace. You know, I will leave tokens and you know, say words of remembrance to whoever leans in towards me. Some of these graves you will see the CSA, Confederate soldiers, the Confederate Soldiers of America, the Confederate Army. We've seen several of them, and we can't judge those folks by our standards today. That is so important to remember. There is over 100 acres here. We're staying over to the older side, obviously, where the good and dead are. You know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier, we do have, I said it wrong, let me be corrected, the Confederate States of America, Civil War soldiers who fought for the South. And I have moments, well, when I'm thinking about it, I wonder, were they fighting the war or were they fighting for their farm? Y'all have to excuse the car going by. You know what I'm saying now? I mean, did they really care about the political factions that were out there? Or was it just that it was in their own damn backyard? You know, we can't be judging folks with not knowing the whole story. And so when I see one of these graves, I actually sort of make a little extra special that wherever they are, they find peace. Whatever they've done, may they find peace. You know, a lot of those folks, we don't know their stories and the decisions and why they made those decisions. And so I think for us, we need to look upon them with kindness and look upon them with forgiveness. Because remember we were talking about those underground crypts that we know are here. There are several of them. Like I said, they're like small churches underground. And what filled up, they went back and put a marker on it. And as we think here, there's concrete, and you can see where it almost looks like there was a step down and into. And from what some of the research and the stories I've heard, like I said, there were small mini churches underground, and they'd have half a dozen bodies in there. And they didn't want people doing any grave robbing, so they buried them up. Remember I was talking about how here at Bonaventure, the families would come out and have a picnic. And this is places right where we're at. It's a perfect example. You can see the road here, and then see they have this wide area in front of the family plots. There's Andre again. But you can see these nice wide areas off of the road were there so that you could come out, sit in front of your family plot, and have picnic with your family. And it's just so sad we've lost so many of our traditions with working with and bringing the dead into our lives. I think it would absolutely be perfect. I can envision myself sitting here and then looking over, seeing my family plot, or seeing, a family or a grave site that I am really vibing on and feel connected to. I would definitely come out here and have lunch. This is just not beautiful. I could spend hours walking through this cemetery. Like I was saying earlier, it's a perfect place to come out for a Sunday afternoon and have a picnic and to come and spend time with spirit realm folk. You know, now if you're looking for workings and you want to get your little dirt, actually you need to be looking to the edge of your cemeteries. We're in the very middle of it. Like I was saying earlier, there's a deep sense of contentment. Oh, you can see my shadow. Deep sense of contentment here. Typically, the less desirables, the criminals, the suicides, the tragic stories of life are typically buried on the edge. And most of the time I go over to the west side of a cemetery, just outside of the boundary, the gates, and I start looking for a depression in the dirt to let me know that someone's been buried there. And I will sit there, give up offerings, just see what spirit realm folk is saying as to if I harvest that dirt or not. You know, this place is just good for wisdom. If you want to take home a little bit of America's wisdom, like I was saying, we have soldiers in here. We have all walks of life. This cemetery has been part of America before America was America. All right? And this is all of our dirt, all of our stories, and these are all of our people. And I know, for those of you who ain't heard about Kevin Bacon and his 6 degrees, his 3 degrees of separation, that we are all connected. And that being, you go through your family, go through your friends. I guarantee some of you folks, many of you folks will find you have associations in this cemetery. We have colonists out of the original Georgia colony are buried here. All right, we have so much history. So don't feel like you can't walk in a cemetery and that you're not connected just because your folk aren't buried there. That's not what this is about. This is all of our folk. This is all of our stories. Like, you know, we have folks in this graveyard that fought World War I, World War II, and that affected your grandma and grandpa just like it affected my grandma and grandpa. So you've already got an association right here to Bonaventure Cemetery. So take the time to come out. Is this just not spectacular? And take a walk and enjoy the dead folk. Witches, you know, we keep talking about them underground crypts.
Yeah.
We think we have got one where you can actually see most of it above ground, but there's still a fair amount of it. You actually step down. I'm gonna turn my camera so y'all can get and to really see the shot. All right. Is that just not too pretty? All right. And more than likely, you're going to walk into there and then walk down and into a crypt type area. But we keep looking for them. The reason we believe it's underground is because if you look at the sides here, it's not really deep. It's more like a portico entrance than actually where they would have put the caskets. So based on the size of it, we are making an assumption. Like I said, witches, I don't have the secret map of where the crypts are. I just know they're here. I do know 1 or 2 of the plots that have crypts. We just have not walked across that today. This is where we're on one side of it, and over on the other side of the 100 acres is probably where that one is. All right, this is a really busy corner we're on, but I'm gonna try and film this for y'all anyway. When we were talking about those crypts, all right, we know that there are 4 bodies interned here. And we also know that if you really look on the ground, you can see it running down. All right, the ground's uneven. And this is just the memorial stone that's been placed on top of the underground crypt. And then they went back and backfilled it all up so that way the bodies and whatever valuables they may have buried with these folks are safe.